Maybe get us a little music here. Oh, there's the music. There it is. Okay, is the music going? Music's still not going. Let's try this again. Boom, boom, boom. Also, I'm going to tweet this out real quick. And throw it in the live channel real quick. We're about to get started. Let's see. Let me put up the little timer, my Bob. Do 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 do. Live in live streams. Working on Webi error. Okay, now why is my music not going here? Let me see. Let me see if I can figure this out. First of all, I can't hear the music myself, so that's not a good sign. Let's see, external headphones, MacBook speakers. Bum, 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 bum. I'm just going to try refreshing. Let's see. We've been on the chill tag for a while. I want to go back to the classic tag. Where's my classic tag? Oh, there's ambient. Ambient's okay. Let's try ambient again today. Okay, so we should be hearing something. Okay, there we go. Just had to try turning it on and off again, I guess. You know. There's that. Okay. Putting my chat timer on. Or not my chat timer, there's a little thing that pops up in the chat. I'm putting that on. Alright. So. Ladies, gentlemen, friends, worms, enemies, frenemies. It is time to pop open a nice can of Whoop Mountain Dew. Whoop Focus. There we go. And then let's get started in on some problems. So, the problem that I'm having, first of all, is I haven't had a sip of Mountain Dew yet. After that, the problem that I'm having, this has been going on for several months. And it started to get more frequent. So occasionally there'll be this 500 error. And I didn't know it was a 500 error for sure for a while. I think I actually had a bug in my code that was a promise deadlock. I mean, I guess most bugs I have are in my code. There's a fair number that are in other people's codes too. Anyway, so I'm getting this 500 error from GitHub API, the releases API. Hey, what's up, Dubs? Yeah, good to see you. So I'm getting this 500 error from the GitHub releases API, but I don't know why. One, I don't know why, and then once it happens, it keeps happening until reboot. And that would seem to suggest that until the process is killed and restarted. And that would seem to suggest that the error is being cached. But I just went back through the code a couple weeks ago, the last time this happened, around January. It was about 1 month ago, actually. It was about 1 month ago. So the last time this happened, I went back through the code line by line in that area of the code, and I refactored some things. I tested it out a little bit to make sure that it seemed to be behaving appropriately. And I had updated it so that if the response was erroneous, it would not cache the result. Because I think that there was a case where if the response came back as, say, because sometimes people give you 200 errors so that the web server didn't fail. It's not a web server error. Kind of, sort of. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's a 200 level error where I'm getting an error, but it doesn't look like an error, so it doesn't know it's an error, and it's trying to process it as a response. And maybe that now that I think about it, I think I wasn't properly checking the error code. Anyway, we're going to go back in the code. We're going to try to figure this out. We're going to go on the beta server. So I'm going to go into beta here. And let me go ahead and get into fish. What have you been up to, Debs? And I'm going to go into serve, beta web install, and then I don't know where I need to be. Do I need to be in installers on this? I'm not sure. GitHub response is the thing that I'm seeing as part of the error. Maybe it was, I thought it was GHRESP. Let me go into prod real quick. Okay, so this is what I did.Ghub. Oh, that's really weird that I didGhub rather than something else, but whatever. Because it seems like I would have just done GitHub or GH. I don't know what I was drinking when I was doing that, but it wasn't enough Mountain Dew, that's for sure. Okay. So this is what is really weird about the latest error messages. I could see this, but I couldn't see these. And how could I see the stack trace but then not immediately see the output of the headers and stuff? That was really confusing to me. So I moved that up above, and we're gonna do some other stuff to try to figure out what's going on here. And this one should be prod. I don't know if I could change its host name to be prod, but this one should be prod. What else is going on here too? Because one thing I've been wanting to do is just get rid of. Oh, Bliss is still on here, and the Postgres stuff. I want to actually update the entire VPS because it's old. So I'd need to export Postgres and re-import Postgres, and I think that might be good enough. There might be some other things in places that I'm not thinking of at the moment, but okay. All right, and you said drove kiddos to Mobile, Alabama, for the weekend. Experience a more real Mardi Gras parade. Whoa, hold on, wait. I mean, I may be misunderstanding, but I thought that the All Dogs Go to Heaven version of Mardi Gras was the pretty tame version, and so, I mean, you want your kids to go to Mardi Gras? Isn't that basically like a drag show? Pardon my misunderstanding of Mardi Gras, but I thought it was basically like the gay parade in San Francisco, or where it's just people being the most lewd, walking around naked with little pasties on, and just being. I thought it was a really, really dirty event. I don't know. I don't really know much about it. I might be completely off base, but my understanding was Mardi Gras was like hookers in the street kind of thing. But I haven't been there. I don't know why I have that impression. That's just the impression that I've had. I don't remember what it is that made me believe that. But I've seen Mardi Gras depicted in All Dogs Go to Heaven, and then I've just heard things that don't sound family friendly about it. Been watching Crockford's lecture here and there. Well, that's great. Excellent. That will improve your life. Absolutely 100%. And not to sound judgmental, I mean, if that's what you want your kids to be exposed to, your kids, your life. I don't, but I'm guessing that I must have either a misunderstanding or there's kind of two different types of Mardi Gras. Kind of like how there's two different Vegases. There's Vegas after 8 p.m. and there's Vegas before 8 p.m. And those are very different Vegases. I guess they're not super very different. Okay. So what I'm talking about is maybe in New Orleans, in Bourbon Street, But there is family-friendly stuff. Okay. It's the bead stuffed animals. Yeah, I don't know anything about Mardi Gras, but the things I have heard aren't very good. And All Dogs Go to Heaven is a weird movie. It is a weird movie. Have you watched that as an adult? That is such a weird movie. I don't know how I liked that as a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch that as a kid. You know, I remember, I think my grandma got me the Listen Along All Dogs Go to Heaven CD, or it was probably even a cassette tape back then, but and it's like, whoa, All Dogs Go to Heaven has got, I mean, it's about the mafia, it's about demons, it's a weird, Don Bluth is a strange guy, you know, Cock-a-doodle-doo, that was alright, but All Dogs Go to Heaven was a little crazy. Anyway, so this is the problem. The problem file is right here. Whoops, a little underscore there. Nope. Let's see, where did it go? Wait, I'm on the, let me move production away. I just wanted to check on production. We're going to move production away. And I never get this error in beta. I think what it's related to is I think that it's a certain sequence of events that causes GitHub API to not like me. I think it's I don't know that it's a timeout response or a not timeout. What am I looking for? When you make too many requests, limitation, what is that called? Rate limit. I don't know if it's a rate limit request because it seems like the caching, if the caching's working, then rate limiting should never kick into effect. But maybe the caching isn't working. Maybe my assumptions about my caching are wrong because I haven't tested it in isolation. So, okay, let's do this. Let's say I'm going to go to, here's the request. I mean, if the caching isn't working, I would have thought things would have broken a lot sooner, a lot harder. But let's just do this. We're going to do this. We're going to say console.log, and we're going to open up another, let me do it as a tab, actually. We're going to open another tab. We're going to get logged into beta, and we're going to look at the error messages in real time here. All right. So we're going to watch this in real time. What I want to do is a couple of things. One, let's just see how often these responses are happening. So I don't even need to see the whole response. I just need to see cache miss. Let's just call it this. GitHub API cache miss. And let's just put some $ signs or some, whatever in front of their hash marks so that this stands out in the logs. Okay? So we're going to restart this, and then I'm going to, let's do this. We're going to restart it. And this is on beta. And let's see. So we're going to system control restart web install beta. All right. There we go. Oh, and we're using NodeMon. So this is in beta we're using NodeMon. So this is going to restart anyway. Okay, let me catch up on comments here. Interesting. People in Mobile, Alabama are going to argue that their town is the origination of the event, huh? Do they not have that accent in Mobile, Alabama? Is that just a Forrest Gump thing? Okay. Yeah, you need to rewatch All Dogs Go to Heaven. Fat Tuesday, reflecting the practice of the last night of eating rich fatty foods before the ritual of Lenten sacrifices. Fascinating Lenten season. So I don't want to offend anybody, but I want to speak straight. There's a lot of Christian-esque religions out there that seem to be rather pagan to me. And I don't know, Lent is not something that I'm familiar with in my sect of Christianity. Can I ask this? Is Lent actually something related to Christianity, or is it a pagan tradition that was adopted as part of that whole governmental process to get more of the pagans to adopt Christianity and accept Christian in quotes there, rulers, because I don't think that anything that's done by force, I don't think that that is Christian in nature. Christianity is what I believe Christianity to be as the truth of the religion is an invitation. Jesus invited people to follow him. He did not force them to follow him. He liberated the captive, the spiritually captive, by inviting them to follow him and take upon his yoke and burden, which is light, right? So the idea that a government would force people into Christianity seems to be the opposite of Christianity to me. And although I believe that you can be a Christian and do bad things, and you could be a Christian church and do bad things, I fundamentally don't believe that that aspect of a government or church or person is a Christian aspect. So I've heard about Lent, but I've never come across it in the Bible, or any of the scriptural resources or spiritual resources that I personally am involved in. I think it's a neat concept. I just don't know where it comes from, because it's kind of like a fast from a, well, actually I don't know. It's like a fast from a thing, right? Or is that something else? Am I getting that confused? Man, I'm showing my ignorance right now. Okay. So we've got this in here. So I'm just going to try to get anything. Let's go to dev null on this. Well, this is a little bit weird. Okay, so let me actually bring up the website. And we're going to go to /bun. Whoops. Actually, we're going to go to K9s, because this is the one that always fails. All right, then let's take a look and see. GitHub cache miss. All right, so let's just refresh this a few times. Is the caching working at all? Okay, so the caching is definitely not working the way that I thought. I might be off by a factor of a lot. So I think that I'm doing 15 seconds rather than 15 minutes. That's what this looks like here. What's the difference between these? How are we having a cache miss? Okay, I'm going to refresh again. And I'm going to refresh again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Refresh again. Okay, so this is good. The caching is not working. So we could be hitting rate limit errors. And the rate limit error, this is my new suspicion. The rate limit error could be tied to that specific instance of the request object. Because the request objects, you may not be aware of this, but under the hood, they map between domains. So there's a pool of request objects under the hood in Node and in most programming languages. Well, most higher level languages. There's a pool of request objects, and it will grab from the pool of request objects. So why are we getting a cache miss? This is important. Okay, we can solve this problem. So let's go figure out where that cache miss is happening. All right, so here's get releases. And actually, I want to go up one level. Okay, serve releases, get releases. Okay, this is Webi transform releases. And this is serve releases. So do we have any cache here? No, we don't. Okay. So let's go back in here and let's look for cash. So this is good. This is my fault. This is my own stupidity. This shows my deep ignorance and juniorness. I have not actually checked that the cache works as it should. Get cached release. Okay, get releases. Get cached release. I have gotten plenty of sleep, but I still have the sniffles for some reason. Okay. How could what be corrected? The caching? Or what we were talking about earlier? I didn't quite catch. I didn't see when that comment came in. You can't answer yes to an or question. Okay. So, I mean, you can. It is correct. Anytime somebody asks, would you like pizza or another food? Yes. It is correct. Alright, get cached releases. Let's take a look and see if we can CCC. Did I not set updated at when I refactored this? Let's see. Now. Stale age. What is stale age? 5 seconds. That's not what that's not what I meant to do, I don't think. Let's put a 5-minute buffer on that. Well, the 5 seconds is fine for now. Maybe I was testing this and I set that wrong. Okay, but this is fine. Let's set it a little bit longer. Let's set it for 15 and we'll do this. We'll do this. We're coming out the good ones. The good ones will be 5 times 60, so 5 minutes and 15 minutes there. Yeah, this is Oceanic Aura. We don't have a lot of Spyro on OC Remix for some reason. There's probably tighter copyright around that. That's not Nintendo. You'll notice a lot of OC Remix is Nintendo. And Nintendo used to be a little bit more hardcore about the copyright, but then I guess they loosened up a little bit. I don't know. So most of OC Remix seems to be retro. I mean, that would make sense. But yeah. Again, we're listening to the ambient tag. Oh, and I've been getting copyright claims on this stuff, and it's been ticking me off so much because they're just junk claims and parody claims. Literally, somebody made up their own song and basically it seems like one of those, what it's a joke or it's a, I don't know what it is, or somebody who's mentally disturbed. But this guy basically made a CD that seems kind of like a recording of him being drunk, singing some song in a different language to the Super Smash Bros. Theme. And I got a copyright claim on his song. So because I got the Smash Bros. Theme is in the music here, I got a copyright claim against his song. This drunk guy, you know, and he's and it's weird because he's not recording it on a studio mic or anything. It's just a recording from his computer. But his album of this entire evening that he had by himself or whatever is available on Spotify. And so even though his music, he's using music from other people kind of as a parody, I got a copyright claim against his album, and the music is distorted because it's coming through like a cheapo built-in laptop microphone or something like that with the fan on. So it sounds absolutely horrendous. And that's the copyright claim I got. Not a copyright claim from Nintendo or from somebody who actually owns the original, or who owns the rendition, you know, this particular rendition that's showing up on OC Remix. No, I got a copyright claim from somebody who is doing a drunken song recording that somehow is an album that you can purchase on Amazon and listen to on Spotify. Probably doesn't even remember making it. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's a change in the YouTube's copyright algorithm, and it was a 15-second clip. So it was basically where I'd been speaking, and then I went, and I was staring at the screen for 15 seconds, and Smash Bros is playing in the background, and then I start talking again. So I've got a copyright claim on 15 seconds of Super Smash Bros, but not of Super Smash Bros, of this guy who's created lyrics to the Super Smash Bros song and Finish or something. Nintendo, charge him for that masterpiece. Okay, anyway. So this is what it should have been. So, okay, this is fair. Our rate limit wasn't working in the way that it should have been. Now let's see if we can figure out the next part of the problem. So this part of the problem is solved. I probably put in these values for debugging, and before I pushed, I forgot to change them back. That's simple and easy enough. No love lost there. Now the next problem is, why does restarting, if there's an error, why does restarting fix it? Because if it's a rate limit error, then restarting shouldn't fix it. We should still be getting the rate limit error because it's still the same IP address, right? So that's the next piece to figure out. Hold on just 1 second. I'm not talking about inferred types. I'm talking about real... I'm talking about... Well, I actually don't know how to answer that. I made a post on Twitter. So AI script. The natural name for the thing that it does different than every other language is type drafting. So you can write the code, and then it will generate the types in draft mode. And then you go manually edit the type to turn off draft mode, to make the draft from draft to final. And then it starts going in reverse. So while you're typing the code, it'll do whatever enum of types or whatever strange stuff you come up with, as long as it can be computed by the language, it will update the types, the type annotations. But then as soon as you mark the type annotation as final, then it will go in reverse. Anything that you do that doesn't match the type annotation will now be considered an error. And then you could go back. You could put it back in draft mode and then write more code. Just by editing the type annotation to be basically in a draft state or a final state. Oh, and a quick reminder, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So consider like, sub, follow if you want to. Don't mind my hair. It's normally not this bad, or the bad beard. You know, somebody rated with a bunch of swear words the other day and then told me that I had a bad beard and I needed to go to the gym. And I was just crushed. I couldn't go on for the rest of the day. But thankfully, he didn't make fun of my hair, which is what I'm really sensitive about. So, it's okay. Anyway, I'm guessing that I think the person probably was actually 12. Probably their parents didn't know they were on YouTube. Anyway, so this right here should prevent us from... Okay, function all. no release. I don't know where the 500 could come from, but this is where the 500 should be handled correctly. Either it should fire an no release, and then, well, actually, this is what should happen. Hold on. It should be this. If not, this is what needs to happen. So this is a fix here. So if we have valid data, even if we get back invalid data later, we should never replace valid data with invalid data. I really like this one. This 1,000-year door, origin of birds. And I don't think that we've seen this error. I don't think this ever showed up in production, as far as I can tell. So it wasn't a timeout error. But, okay, this right here, this was wrong. And let's see what else we could do. Okay, coming back. I'm trying to practice just write C and shell code just to embed the structure of... But, okay, those are not whole sentences. You have to communicate a complete thought. You're trying to practice writing C and shell code just to embed the structure... or maybe you did write something, but maybe I'm only getting half the message. I don't know what's going on there. But practicing just to know what your style of coding looks like, that's good. That's good. Do it. All right, so we're going to go back to the releases. Releases.get. And so this should throw an error or get caught. Or rethrow the error. No release. Okay. Actually, let me look at one more thing. What was that? Releases.get. Releases.get. Releases. Releases. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Alright, so there. Okay, so let's take a look at this again then. Put cache. Okay. Await promise. So this possibly could throw an error. If we get an error from the releases API, this could throw an error. And then we would never get back the good information. And that's actually not what we really want. So let's do this. Let's see what's going to go on here. All right, let's try. We're gonna bring this around differently. All right, let's say if the error is not release, we're going to throw the error. Or I guess we could say we'll handle it. This actually is better. I think this, in this particular case, this is better. So we don't need to worry about the date.now. We're going to do that regardless. And I don't think we actually have to worry about this, because that's just what's going to happen anyway. So if the error is no release, then we can just return... We can just return this. Okay, what was that about? We could say let release. What's the real thing here? All. Okay, let all equal. Whoops. There we go. If I could get that right. Return all. And then I don't need this complete equals true. We just need this. Okay, I like that. That's simpler. Okay, here we need to catch this error. Unexpected error. I guess let me think about this. How do we go about this problem? Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. If the error is that there's not a release, this is not a big deal. But I think I did have this right the other way around, actually. Because, well... yeah, this is okay. So basically what we're saying is anytime there's an error, we're going to take the last good result and we're going to cache that. That's essentially what's happening here. So if there's no release, then we're going to get that every time. So we'll just cache that for whatever time we cache things. And then we'll move on. It's fine. Although it would be nice to be able to get tags as releases as well. Because, so we need not only GitHub, but we also need Git. And that we don't have. We don't have a way to say, well, when you clone at this version, clone at this tag. That would be nice to have. We don't have a way to do that right now. I wonder... So if I were to go look at Vim Essentials, for example. It's got Vim Info. Vim Info doesn't exist. But if we go to look at, if we go look at the GitHub, oh, this is one that I created. So let's not look at that one. Vim Sensible. Because it's a canonical sources on GitHub. It doesn't have any releases, but it has tags. So what I'd like to get is actually be able to look at these tags and say, okay, well, when you do a git clone, do a git clone of one of these tags. That would be nice. So that's something I'd like to add as a feature for things that have a git source, well, a GitHub git source, because we'd need to do it other ways for other git sources. Can you list remote tags? Let me see this. Git list remote tags, because I'd rather just do it that way for stuff that's Git native. Okay, cool. What is this? Let's check this out real quick. Let's do github.com/beyondcodebootcamp/aliasman. Nice. And then the source for those. Yeah, I like that idea. All right, so I'm just gonna put a feature request here. Okay, versioned. Most all of the Vim plugins are direct via Git. Not GitHub, just Git. For anything that has a Git source, we could switch to showing versions using git ls remote. This may include replacing git release tags. Whoops. The newly added git release tags. Okay, I actually really like that idea. That might be one of the best things to come out of this little experiment today. Now, where did where I was doing that go? Didn't I just... Didn't I just have this open? Oh, here it is. So many belches and burps. All in good time. Okay, but the thing I don't like about this is it goes in the wrong order. It should start with the most recent. Let's see. Get ls remote -- help. Sort. Okay, let's try this again. Descending order. This is ascending order. What's going on here? Okay. Author date? Maybe commit date? I don't know what to do about this. Let's try author date. Okay, get ls remote sort tag. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see how this works. Over here. Okay, why is it sorting in the wrong order? Why? Do we have just a reverse? Okay. Okay, let me take a look at this sort output here. I'm just very confused why these tags are sorted in the way that they are, because it should... I don't know. Sort dash R. Whoops. Let's see if we can have some examples here. Alright, the leading field separator itself is included in a field when T is not used. Bless me. Okay, so... Okay. So this should sort it by... Right, okay. Alright, so then the question is, can I specify T multiple times? And then tell it that it's a numeric sort for number 2. Let's see, will this work? I wonder, could I'm going to have to try this out with more stuff. Let me just try this out real quick. I'm learning about sort, okay? question is, if I have something like 11 and 11 and 11, and then these are all identical. I'm just going to put these in a mishmash order. Okay, so my question is, can I sort -T V K2 and get these in the right order? Okay, yes, I can. Alright, now these happen to be in the right order anyway. Let's see. I need to make some stuff different. Okay, that just happened. Does that happen to work out, or is that really... Okay, what we need here is some... We need to have a 2, and we need to have a 2 here, and we need to have a 2 here, so we can really test what this order looks like. Alright, good. So this is wrong, so then can we do... Oh, and we also need a version 2. Hold on. So we also need to have a version 2.02. All right, there we go. There's a good. Okay, so these are wrong. So can I tell it numeric sort? Ah, there we go. And then can I do T dot? And these should still be wrong. Good. And then numeric sort -K, and then 2 and 3, and now we should have a perfect sort. Almost. Oh. Okay, so we can't, it looks like we can't get a perfect sort this way. Because although it's allowed to specify these flags multiple times, they don't actually work multiple times. I'm a little confused. Okay, field number dot first character. Okay, field start type, field end type. I don't understand this. Fields and characters, field starting with the number 1. Okay. Sort command semantic version. No, that's not what I want. Yes, this is exactly what I want. Come on, give me POSIX version. Give me the POSIX version. I'm a little confused. We're going to try this out. Did this get in the right order? Not quite. Alright, so that would be... Okay, I'm spending too much time on this. This is not really the important thing at hand. I got distracted by something shiny. My bad. Moving on. I do want to get that sorted out. Okay, get rid of those. Oh wait, what am I doing here? Okay, I had my wrong browser in the window here. Alright, most all of plugins, blah blah blah. Bring that as a tag get source. We could use this, but then let's figure out what was the most canonical way to do this. Is like so. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this doesn't actually sort it at all. Okay, not sure how that came about. Look at that. This one has a tab and this one has a space. Somebody explain me that, huh? How does that work out? I'll try copying and pasting that again. Alright, we're just going with it. I don't know how that could be. What? Oh, it's because the characters are wonkadonk. Because it's a variable width editor. Okay, so but that's a different problem. That's not what I'm dealing with right now. How do I get back on track here? Is there a rule for when to use a switch statement versus a chained if-else? It depends on the language that you're in. Because if it's an if statement, so for example in Bash, anytime that you have to do pattern matching, you have to use a switch case. If it's JavaScript, anytime you're doing pattern matching, again. So basically, if you're using pattern matching, you have to... No, sorry, in JavaScript it's the opposite. If you're doing pattern matching, you have to use an if-else. You can only do literal matching in JavaScript, switch case. But the general rule of thumb, I would say, is that unless it's necessary to use a switch case, don't use a switch case. There are a few instances where it does make sense to use them, and it's typically when it's based on the alignment. So when the alignment is such that it's easier to read, that these cases are how things work out, then a case might be appropriate. But generally avoid switch cases for two reasons. One, most languages don't implement them properly, so falls through is the default and break is not the default. And this leads to confusing code and lots of bugs. And the other problem is that I think that's kind of the main reason. Well, and just in general, programmers don't understand them well. Most programmers, not most, but yeah, most programmers are confused by switch statements, whereas everybody understands if else. So unless you are 100% sure that using a switch case leads to dramatically improved readability and refactorability of the code, use an if else. One thing that I think we desperately need, and I want to find a solution for this in AI script, is a way to write if else's such that they are prettier. Because I think the big problem with the if else is that the way that the parentheses and brackets and else's go, it just ends up looking odd. And so it doesn't have the same aesthetic. And that aesthetic lends itself to readability. So let me play around with this real quick. So we have if, blah, else if, blah, else if, blur, else if, blag. So this just doesn't read as cleanly as switch x case blah case blur case blag. But then you've got the problem of you have to do the breaks everywhere, then you gotta have the default. So I don't know how we could make this look better. But if we could find a way to make it look better, then I'm not opposed to this. I think that if we could have it formatted, I mean, this is kind of a weird formatting, but this, I don't know. What do you think? Would this style of formatting make ifs more readable? Is that how you're taught to do brackets in C? Yeah. I think maybe if we could... The problem is that none of the code tools, none of the formatting code tools will do this style for most languages. But if we could do this style, and again, I don't think that it's good to have the ifs on separate lines. I mean, on the same line. I think that we need to put them like that. I don't know. But if we can find a way to make the if-else more readable, but usually you don't need an if-else. Normally you do if, whatever, whatever, return. If, whatever, whatever, return. If, whatever, whatever, return. Your if should only be 1 or 2 lines and then a return. That's what, normally this is what your code should look like. This should be, well, I mean, maybe the brackets are up here. But normally you should not have an else. You should almost never have an else, and you should almost always have a return, and you should certainly never have an if that's more than 3 lines long. If your body is more than 3 lines long, then something else is wrong. There are some rare exceptions to that. Some of those rare exceptions kind of lend themselves more towards the case, but anyway, let me get back on track here, because I got way off track. Yeah, you're welcome. It depends on the language. In JavaScript, you can't, as a general rule, you can't put the brackets on the next line because the way the parser works with semicolons. And when you put something on the next line, often a semicolon is automatically inserted at that point. So I don't know if what I showed would even work in JavaScript, because it would just go to the next line, or it would get to the end of the line and counter the new line, and then insert a semicolon, and then so what actually would happen. Well, no, I don't think that's valid. Let me just test this real quick and see if this is valid JavaScript. This may not be valid JavaScript. If true semicolon. Ugh. See? So what you end up with is if true semicolon console.log I'm true. I'm true. And then if we change this to false, I'm true. So the problem is that you can end the expression early. And so I don't know what happens if we do this. Whoops. If we do... Let me try putting it on the next line. So if false... Alright. So in this particular case, it seems like automatic semicolon insertion does not take effect. But this is the problem in JavaScript, is that the rules are not well defined, or they are well defined. Every parser will do it correctly. Every correct parser will do it correctly, but they're not intuitive. It's not easy to know when semicolon insertion will take place versus when it won't, because I guess semicolon insertion takes place when it encounters an error. So if we did something like, let's see, if we did something like this, there we go. I don't know. Okay, so back to this idea. What was I going to check? I was going to check what happens if we just throw a random 500. So here we are. I got sidetracked on that thought about version numbers, but here we are. We've got no release. We're just going to tell it something, and it's not going to check on the file system again and try to require the release again for 5 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is. 5 minutes is the stale time. Then we have, and I don't think we use the expired time anymore. Expired age. We should not use that anymore, I think. Oh, I see what we're using it for. So in the one case, I actually want to redo this just a little bit, because I think that this is actually better. Chain cache promise. Okay, so var p equals, and then we can do the opposite. Okay, so this code is slightly better written. We have less inside of an else, or inside of an if. So if it's greater than the stale age, if it's older than the stale age, then we should update it. If it's less than the expired age, then we should just return what we already have. So if it's older than the expired age, then we don't need to do the update because we just did that. We need to do this. There we go. That's what we need to do. Then we're going to try to get the timeout. Yeah, so we're going to resolve one of these two. Okay, great. Okay, so what was my last concern in this? I had a code here. All right, so releases, we got that one done. So if there's an unexpected error, We want to surface that. And then we want to return what the good information that we have. The only time we want to have a hard error is when the information is wicked bad. Okay, and then anything that gets to this point, the updated at is going to get updated, and it's going to get updated with new data, which might exactly be the same data that was already in the cache, and then we're going to mark it as complete. Okay, so this is good. And I never saw this error, so I don't think that this is actually happening, but it's good to have that in there just as just in case. So now what I need to do, let me just check this out real quick. So for debugging purposes, I've got that stale age in there. I'm not going to commit this as long as that's there. I'll move some stuff around. GitHub. Okay. So we get a cache miss. I want to do something else. I want to say, if, let's see, let random equals math.random resp equals status 500 status code 500 body is message the boogeyman got you. Headers, lots of bad things. What else were we gonna look at here? Okay, so I don't know why I had that way anyway. All right, so let's see if we can get the boogeyman to attack us here. So server restarted, great. Okay, we're gonna go look at where is this at? Just one second. Oh, speaking of, I was looking this up earlier. Here's a site with the rules about semicolons. So JS semis. This is how I get to the Webi GitHub every time. What was I going to look at? No, actually, I don't want to go to the Webi GitHub this time. I wanted to go to Webi Canines. And I want to go to Beta Webi. And I wanted to look at the releases JSON. Okay, cool. Cache miss. So let's wait another 5 seconds and let's try again. Okay, cool. So that worked. And then we should be able to pretty quickly Okay, so this is working the way I would expect it. So now it looks like this. Oh, wait, how could this possibly happen? That's not supposed to happen. We're not supposed to overwrite good data with bad data. So let's figure out what happened there. The boogeyman got us, but how did the boogeyman get us? Alright, if there's no release, if that's the error, which is not the error here, should not be the error here, then we're going to replace the releases with nothing. If there is not already data, then we're going to throw the error about the data. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to log the error, but we're going to keep on trucking. Okay, so something wrong happened here. And I think it's happening in this file. That is a no release. Okay. All. Normalize all. Okay, where's our get at? Where's our get function? There's our get function. Wait, I'm a little bit confused here. Normalize all. Releases.get. Alright, so I think I've got some bad logic here. I had some logic. Resp dot. No? Is it here? I thought it was here. Maybe it's my normalize function. Okay, let's see if we can figure out where the boogeyman got us. Boogeyman? No boogeyman. Alright. So, if we watch the logs here, and I just hit refresh. Yay! Boogeyman got us again. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So, message is the boogeyman got you. Alright, so let's check this out over here. Was it this one? Transform releases, yes. So in transform releases, question is, how did the wrong stuff get updated? Oh, boogeyman got us again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. So we got good data. It's fine that we got bad data and that nothing good happened while we had bad data. Whoops. But now we've gotten good data. Okay, cache miss, no boogeyman. Great. Okay, so if there's no boogeyman, then that data should be cached nicely. How do we get back to the boogeyman? Alright, let's go back here. Headers. Wait, where's this? Releases.get. Console.log. No release. No problem. No good release. All right, good enough. Release. Okay, if not cache. Okay, we got a promise. Setting default release. Let me see here. So I think we have a problem right here. No, I mean, we should only set this once, right? This is good. Yeah, there actually is nothing wrong with that. So this should get all, and it should replace all. So here we're returning all, and here we're returning all. So as far as I can tell, everything checks out there. I'm really confused as to why... Okay, so this time we didn't get the boogeyman. We got a good enough release. No boogeyman. Alright, we wait 5 seconds. 1, 2, 4, 5... Alright, we got back good data, that's great. No release. Wait a minute. No release, that's not the error that we should be getting. How did we get no release? Hold on. That's what I've been missing. Somehow we're getting to this condition when we shouldn't. Oh, whoops. 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 I had a not equals in there somehow. That was just left over. Okay, good. That's pretty simple. Alright, let's refresh and see if the boogeyman gets us. Yay! Boogeyman got us. Excellent. So, failure. Alright. Cool. Boogeyman went away. And then we actually want to have the boogeyman get us again. Alright, we're having really good luck. That's not what I want, though. I want boogeyman. Good. The boogeyman got us. The boogeyman got you. Woo! Alright, so the boogeyman gets us. And we still get back good releases. Alright, so This is what I wanted. Console.log. Let's get rid of that. And I'm literally going error. The boogeyman got us. There we go. So hopefully we can figure out where our mysterious boogeyman is coming from. But this should foolproof us against the boogeyman. The boogeyman being the mysterious error that we get from the GitHub API now and then that causes only bad results to come back. Alright, and then same thing from releases here. Okay, normalize all. That's fine. Alright, let's get rid of this. Oh, you know what else we need to do? Hold on. If not, resp.okay. Well, I guess what we need to do is this. Okay equals refs dot, I think it's status. I don't remember what version of request we're using. Let me check that out real quick. Actually, before I do that, let me not forget to swap the debug values around. Let's not forget to do that, as that's probably what caused this. Someone in HR can't print but refuses to answer the phone. Watch it be something that I could have done from my desk. I'm sure it will be. I have to join on JavaScript Jabber in a couple minutes, so I am going to peace out of here very, very shortly. I just want to see what version of request do we have. Okay. So if not rest, okay. I guess actually there's kind of two cases where we want this. Let me see here. Right, that's what I expected to have happen. I don't know how we could possibly have this error about GitHub rasp.forEach is not a function and not have these printing out. That's some boogeyman stuff right there. That's another thing that was really weird, is that this code existed written like this, and I was not seeing headers or body in the log. Okay, let's make sure that this is still working. Alright, I didn't kill it. Good. Alright, I am 1 minute away from JavaScript Jabber time. I'm going to go ahead and get my JavaScript Jabber window opened. Let's see. I'm using headphones. All right, so I have to get off my stream now so I can join JavaScript Jabber. So I'm going to tell the stream folks goodbye and mute over here so I can do that. All right, everybody. I will catch you later. Yeah, the podcast is not live, but we're on YouTube now, apparently. So, hey, do we have the YouTube link for this? Steve, do you know? What channel is this on? Hold on. Let me stop the music here. I thought he was doing it live now. Okay. Well, I'm off to JavaScript Jabber. I'm going to fix this and finish committing this during the start of the show. I'll catch y'all later. Like, sub, follow if you want to. Here's the little... we don't... it's not live. It's recorded to YouTube, but it's not live, I'm being told. So, anyway. And then I'm not going to raid just because I can't be bothered to do that right... Okay, no. I'll check real quick. I'll check real quick if we can raid. But I need to get going on this. It's okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. Prime Again's on. So we'll raid Prime Again. Let's see, is it Prime Agent? Okay. All right, everybody. Adios. Bye.